One thing I find effective is to kind of piece together lines, first almost out of tempo, thinking my goal is to play straight eighth notes. Now, when I say to play these straight eighth notes, you don't want your playing to be only straight eighth notes in the end, but this is a means to an end. Once more, another finger pointing toward the moon. But the ability to play long eighth note lines is definitely essential for the improviser. So how do we craft these eighth note lines? Now, I like to do this on the piano as well, because on the piano, your technique won't take over. You let your fingers bump into each other, sort of, and see what comes out. But let's say, here's the premise. I'm gonna play a 2-5-1. One measure of the 2 chord, one measure of the 5, using the flat and fifth substitution again on the 5 chord. And then the resolve to the 1 for 2 measures. So I'll play notes of the key. First of all, I'll just make myself play diatonic notes and see what happens. First of all in the tonic key, then in the key of flat and fifth away of the key of the tritone, whether you call it the flat and fifth substitution, the parallel universe, the twins. You know, I've been talking about it enough that if you've been following me, you know what I mean. And then resolve at home. So, with 8 eighth notes. So I might just put them together slowly, almost out of tempo, and try to say, well, let me see. I'll think of myself as being on the Dorian. As I said, I like to think the Dorian or melodic minor on the 2 and the 5. So if I'm playing in the key of, let's say I'm playing in F concert, I'm playing first the G, Dorian or melodic minor, and then I'm going to the flat and fifth substitution, and I'm thinking of it as being the C sharp or D flat Dorian, because I like to think of it as the easiest way to grab that substitution for me is to think of the minor scale a half step above the root of the 5/7. So if I'm thinking G minor 7, C 7th, F, then if I want to grab my flat and fifth substitution, I just think C sharp melodic minor or C sharp Dorian, whichever I feel. So let me say I'll stay with the Dorian, for instance, and I'll think one note at a time. So that's a nice first measure for me to compose this particular 2-5-1. I like that. Then I'll try something on the Dorian using scale, arpeggio, or scale permutation, skips or notes together, however I want to feel it. So there I put it together. I made a third, like a 3-2-1 of the 5 chord there. So there, if I were thinking that to be D flat minor, or B flat minor on the alto, it's my 3rd to my root to my 7th to my 6th, and then, which happens to be the 7th of the 5 chord of the tonic key, or my 3rd of the G flat 7th. Then I resolve to the 3rd of my 1 chord. might start skating on it and changing it ever so slightly. But that would be the next step. So then you put it into tempo. Then I try another phrase. Maybe I'll try it a half step up. Let's go to G flat and see what happens. Oh, there's a neighbor note. I won't use that yet. So there's my first phrase. So I went 3, 4, 5, skipped to the 7th, and then to the 9th. Came down with the scale. And 1/3. Now that's my first phrase on the A flat minor concert, because now we're going to the key of G flat. Now on the 5 chord. So I use a kind of little bit of a pentatonic there, or a quartatonic. I'm playing the flat of his substitution, the Dorian from the 1, 2, 4, 5. Then I go from my 2 or my 9 to a 3rd and play 1/3 up, 1/3 down. Third one. And there I have that. Try to do that in several keys. Go up until you get it into tempo. Then try to do it spontaneously. This next thing is an exercise that a student of mine who had studied with the great Bob Brookmeyer laid on me. I thought it was a very good idea. Once again, with the art of playing 8th notes, we're talking about getting the right feeling with the 8th notes. So, I will give you a little bit of an articulation exercise maybe in the next tutorial. But for now, I'm thinking what Brookmeyer likes to do is he said, try to play what you think would be 30 seconds of 8th notes. And you start out playing any 8th notes you want. You don't have to worry about a key center or anything, but just to get the momentum of the 8th notes. I like to sing them. I might go 1, 2, 3. Bid do ba do 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 ba o ba do ba ba ya da ba o be ya ba do lo ba o ba da da ba da do de ya ba do la ba do ba de bo da ba do da ba da bo do be da bo be do da. I put 1 triplet in. I'm looking for my little pocket watch here. Well, my watch that has a second hand on it. Here we have this, and it does have a second hand. I can't really see it without my glasses, but let me see if I can play approximately 30 seconds of 8th notes. I'll play some and I'll let you know how long I played. We're going to start right now. That was about 35 seconds. Oh, I just realized it's the camera will tell me how much time it takes me. I'm so non-techie. But that was an idea. I let myself play an occasional 16th note triplet, and there I played 30 seconds of eighth notes. Let me try 15 seconds of eighth notes, just so you hear 15 seconds. Okay. So that was approximately, I forgot again to look at the exact time, but that's in the ballpark. And it was swinging, and it puts you in the zone. This zone we talk about, this mysterious place called the zone, where you start to create your eighth notes. You start to get in the feeling of the time and the flow of it. Takes you there. So the next thing you want to do, step 2, is to take a major scale and just use the notes of a major scale and see if you can do, maybe start with 15 seconds of it and then build it up to 30. So let me see. I'll start in 5 seconds and I'll play a G-flat major scale concert. Well, 5 more seconds. Let's go. Ready. So that was more like 20 seconds, but that gave me the idea. I'll do it again for 15 seconds again. Well, 1 or 2 non-diatonic notes slipped out there. And, but on the whole, you know, I had it in just the scale notes. The last step of this exercise is to allow yourself to use chromatics, but still be within the feeling of the scale. So I'm still playing the basic idea of the G-flat major scale while playing the neighbors and passing tones within it. So here's my tonic. So there's an example of that. I probably could have done it better. Let me give one more try. So, you know, that was basically in the ballpark. So those are the 3 ways that you would do it. And try doing that with a different scale every day. You find you hear the cracks in the keys. You hear the places in between the scale tones. And you get to feel them intuitively and not have to think about them. And you keep the flow, so it gets you in the zone. It's a win-win. Sometimes I will take chromatic eighth notes, sort of sequences that I would practice. I have many of those that I do through the instrument, little intervallic things that I will play through the registers. For instance, as an exercise, I might do this 4 consecutive notes going up, ascending, descending the instrument. I have a little leak there, sorry. It's hard to get out to the repairman these days. So there's my basic idea, and I play it, and I play it slowly until I get it to be. But it's not so important to get it fast. It will come fast if you play it slowly. But what I like to do is find different beats that I can put it on to give me the feeling of the time. We want to get into the time. So that was all on 1. Da 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 dee da 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 dee da 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 dee da. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. In my mind, there's always a little thing that's counting the 8 notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That becomes an unconscious thing. But at first, you want to really think of it consciously. So, you even want to sing it. If you're singing it, sing it with the 8 notes, with the names of the beats, where you're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, etc. Now, what if I put it on let's say the and of 4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and. So I'm leaving the and out. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. This is a very good exercise for singers too, because if you're singing and you want to, I'm not nailing the notes the way I might because of this condition I have. I hate to make excuses, but the emphysema makes it a little more difficult to be exact with the pitch. But if you do it very slowly, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you really hear each pitch as definitely as you can. This is also very good for instrumentalists to do. But then don't worry if you're singing it fast, because you want to just feel the rhythm. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So then I would play it. 1, 2, 3. So there's a difference. You compare them. First play it on the beat. Okay. Then on the end of 4. 1, 2, 3. Then put it on the end of 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 1, 2, 4. So that would be 3 places to start. And then we go and we continue playing it on different parts of the beat. Play it 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Well, let me think about that. I think I do the end of 4 and the end of 3. So I gave it some thought now about these chromatic, 4-note chromatic exercises. And I thought that I really think about them really more, except for understanding it on 1. Then I would say the end of 1. I think it's an upbeat thing is the way I really feel it, as opposed to the downbeat way. I'm sure you can play it on all the beats. Nothing prohibits that. But if you want to swing, you have to start feeling the upbeats. You see, that's what sort of makes jazz a little different than other music. Because in classical music, it's all the 1, 3, 1, 3. And the downbeats are very important. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But jazz has the syncopation, which is the secret of it. It gives you the ands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So something you want to do without the instrument is just see if you can feel the ands, you know, on a basic level. So you're going 1, 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And even very slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And if you tap it, if your fingers can't get tired of snapping, hit your heart. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we had those 4 chromatic notes going down, ascending, and then going down the instrument chromatically. So let's recapitulate. We started with on 1. Then we said, well, let's try the end of 1. So that was 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and etc. Now, I'm always starting from D flat concert, by the way. I've been starting from B flat on the alto. So now I'll do the end of 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That ends me on 1. So 1, 2, I'll do it again. 4, 1. So I put a little major third at the end. So the next place is I'm going to try the end of 2, because I don't think it really swings on 2. So let's try the end of 2. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. We put a little accent when we come in there, because that's the natural inflection of the music. Is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and would be the end of 4 too, and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So it's sort of like the ends of the 2 and 4, which is our pocket, get accented. But we start out with the emphasis on the end of 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1 on the end of 2. 1 and 2. Then let's try the end of 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. So 1, the end of 3. 1 and 2 and 3. 4, 1 and 2 and and the very last thing, the end of 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1. So 1, 2, 3. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. And pardon my little mistakes in there, but I tried to do it a little too fast. So always slow down. Don't make that first mistake. And try that on different beats. There are many of those you can do, but let's just start with these.